Cool.
Great. Thanks, Molly. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Motor Vehicle and Transportation Subcommittee. I am not Delegate Fraser Hidalgo. I'm Delegate Learman, and I'm pinch hitting because Delegate Fraser Hidalgo has to be out right now, but we need to keep moving forward. So we are going to take up SB 726 to start with. This is Senator Feldman's bill dealing with personal delivery devices, standards and requirements that we had a robust conversation about the last time that we met. And yes, here's the bill. And there were several technical amendments and then one substantive amendment. Patrick, do you want to take us through the technical amendments? For the,
we can start with on page 2, Molly, if you'll go to page 2. Those are technical, recommended by the proofreaders and DLS. Then we go to page 4 of 8, where in concert with another provision, this insurance provision was written to pieces meant for Uber and Lyft, and it doesn't really fit because these personal delivery devices aren't vehicles. So you can't have an alternate insurance for the personal delivery devices as vehicle insurance when they're not vehicles. If we go up to page 6 of 8, and towards the bottom of that, there's some substitute language added that authorizes the current language, requires them to have an insurance policy of $100,000, and then the added language authorizes them to have another form of security acceptable to MVA that adequately provides the same benefits. And basically, this is self-insurance, same thing that you'll get in a vehicle fleets and the like. And that's what I think they were trying to get at the previous language. So,
can I ask a question about that?
Sure, go ahead.
What kind of insurance? Is it liability insurance? If these devices do some kind of damage, is that what that's about?
Well, liability insurance is in the bill.
Okay, so what's this insurance?
This allows them to self-insure with the approval of MVA.
For those kind of things?
Right.
Okay.
That MVA allows for vehicle fleets and the like.
Okay.
So, and I actually have a follow-up to that. So it says, on line 24, be covered by, and then an insurance policy that provides general liability coverage of at least $100,000 for damages. So if one of these devices hits, Chairman Barbay's dog, no. If one of these devices hits somebody and they are injured and they sue, that liability coverage would cover that person. That is the idea, correct?
That's the idea, correct.
And I guess one question then is $100,000 enough? And where did that number come from?
Pat Roddy, representing FedEx, wants to give an answer here, I think.
Sure. Go ahead, Pat.
Thank you, Madam Delegate. The 100,000 is a minimal, so that is the floor. Actually,
Right.
there is no limitation on the damages that could be incurred by the operator of a personal delivery device.
Right.
The 100,000 again is standard in the 16 states that have already made a personal delivery device authorization, so that's where it came from.
Okay.
And again,
Thanks.
okay, thank you. Thank you.
Any other questions so far? Okay. And could you, Delegate Harrison.
Yeah, I'm just wondering whose amendments these are. Were these offered by the group represented, or are these amendments from someone here in the committee, or what?
Staff counsel.
These are from
Staff
Patrick.
counsel?
These are from Patrick.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
There is one additional amendment that I would like to offer.
That's in here too.
Oh, that is? Okay, where is that? Sorry.
That's right below where we were on page.
Oh, it is. Okay, could you scroll up to that, Molly?
Should be on the bottom of the page, Molly.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, down. Yeah. Sorry. That's okay. Bottom of
It's
be
subject to-
subject to municipal or county permitting requirements where applicable. So that's in there as well.
No, that's where applicable, so
What does where applicable mean?
if there are any.
So the local governments can adopt whatever they need to.
No, not necessarily, because the vehicle code is state law,
Oh,
But
but they can be authorized to do permit programs.
yeah, so they would require, for instance, that a company have they could create some sort of permitting process to ensure, that they know how many of these devices are going to be on the streets, or, certainly we do that with the scooters now, right?
yeah, the question is about this language. Does this allow the locals to do it? Or is there someplace else in this bill that allows the locals to develop those permitting?
If it's outside of the motor vehicles laws, the Delegate Learman's description of a permitting process sounds reasonable to me.
So we don't need to need to make it explicit in the bill.
Is that my whole amendment? Wasn't there a few, weren't there?
There's another piece to your amendment.
Oh, okay.
That's on the next page.
Okay, yep, and abide by.
And that's, after line 15 on page 7.
Right. And abide by all local ordinances, regulations, and rules.
Okay.
Can I ask one question about that, Delegate Learman?
Sure.
This says, abide by all local ordinances, blah, 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 of each county municipality within which the operator intends to operate the PDD. Should that just be operates the PDD? Instead of making a future, make it current?
Well, let's see, bye-bye. I mean, they are applying to operate. They're applying for permits to operate. I don't know if it matters. Yeah, I'm not sure that it matters. Does anybody think it matters, or anybody want to pipe up, or either? Yep.
If we say, operate, which operates is fine. It tends to operate as sort of, I'm not sure what that exactly means.
I don't know what that means.
I think either has applied to operate or operates would be language I would suggest.
I would agree with that language.
So, okay, so if each county and municipality within which the operator
Has applied?
has applied or
Is that what Delegate Healy said?
just operates,
Can I?
Pat?
I think you could tie it to the notification in line 16 just below it, that the operators have the requirement to notify. So you could tie it to where the operator notifies the local government, it will operate. Because the notification is a necessary predicate to operation.
Okay, so we'll just, you mean put it under number 2?
No, I mean, just use the word where the operator notifies
Oh,
the county or municipality, it will operate, it intends to operate, it will operate.
I see. Okay,
Use the notification trigger because they are now under a trigger to notify
Right.
prior to actual
Right.
operation.
so rather than intends, it's notifies, basically. Right, because
Rather than applies, notifies.
notifies. Okay, yeah, that works for me. Does that work for others?
Yeah.
Okay. Do folks want to adopt these amendments? Is there,
Move the amendments.
Second.
all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Okay, is there a motion on the bill as amended?
So
Move the
moved.
bill.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor of the bill as amended, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay.
Oh, I have one question. What's the
Sure.
speed? What's the speed limit?
The
Seven.
speed limit, sorry, Pat.
7. I think it's 7. Is that right?
Correct, on sidewalks and
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
crosswalks.
Okay,
7.
thank you.
I have one question. I also have a question.
Sure.
Because I know that they said that it will stop for all kinds of devices, but the video that I saw only saw it stopping for traffic lights, stop signs that don't flash and they're just there. Do they stop for them or not? I just want to know.
Yes, they are required to obey, by this bill, they will be required to obey those traffic signals, those, which include signs.
Okay, so just a plain old red stop sign. I mean, because bicycles run right through them, so.
Yes, it will be programmed to recognize that international stop sign and to stop when it sees it.
Okay, that's fine.
Delegate, do you want to just go to the House bill real quick?
Yes, I do. I would like to move to conform HB 595 to 726. Does I have a motion to do that?
So move.
Second,
Second.
all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, on 595 as amended. Is there a motion?
Move favorable.
Second,
Second.
all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, bill carries. Okay. SB 501 is Senator Bidle's bill. Deals with towing or removal of vehicles from parking lots. Patrick, could you remind us of this bill?
Yes. The current standard is one sign for every 7,500 square feet in a shopping center parking lot. And then this makes an exception for regional malls, which are described as 400,000 square feet of gross leasable area and at least two anchor stores. And in these parking lots, the requirement would be changed to have the signs placed at every entrance to the parking lot.
Okay, so this, let's see. Just gonna- Any discussion or thoughts on this?
Snow removal and the things like that. It was a lot of damage by wind and the like too.
And so this really has to do with additional notification for folks,
I'd say just different.
different notification, okay.
Quick
One thing that I
question.
thought was interesting was that the shopping centers pointed out is that they're not in the business of getting their people towed. Nobody gets towed out of their lots unless they expressly ask for it.
Oh, that's interesting, right? Because that wouldn't be good customer service, right? Okay.
Unless you leave a junker there overnight, it's just taking up space and scaring
Right.
people. Yeah.
Delegate Boyce, did you have a question? No.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
What problem are we trying to solve?
Well, it's costly. According to the malls, it's costly to put them up and maintain, especially in very windy days. They get damaged during snow removal. And it's quite, for a big mall, a big shopping lot, that's a lot.
Which bill is 170? Is that what we're talking about?
No, 501.
501.
Oh,
I remember the conversation that oftentimes these the signage is like in the middle of the parking lot, and
Right.
the trucks are trying to, particularly the snow removal trucks, are trying to clear snow, that basically they're obstruction. They're and the size of the signs, I guess, was another issue. they're large and I guess the trucks keep hitting them and knocking them down. I think it's the impetus of the issue.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that's right. And that just sort of creates clutter.
So they wanted to install them at the entrance and the exits of the parking lots.
Right. That's right. Yeah, I think this is harmless and fine. Yeah.
I'm just asking questions. I don't.
Oh yeah, no, it's a good question. I had to go look it up.
Is this just for the big shopping centers, or is this for all of them?
Big. Over.
Big.
It's regional.
Feet.
Yeah, it's for the really big ones. I think the
Okay.
idea, when I looked back at the testimony, it seems like exactly what Delegate Harrison was saying, and then just like additional like clutter, so that there's just too many signs all over.
Move favorably.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Great. The next bill is SB 170. This is from the committee, or this is from the agency. This is the one that had to do with the stealing of the copper wires.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that?
I don't remember this one.
I think there were some issues with the wording of the bill or the verbiage. Patrick, do you want to talk with us about that?
Well, if my memory serves, the biggest issue was with the penalties.
Oh, the penalties. Okay.
Is this something, and I remind the subcommittee that there are currently theft penalties for these violations that are in scale according to how much is stolen.
Yeah.
I'll read them to you real quick. This is current law. Theft is less than $100, misdemeanor, 90 days imprisonment and or $500 maximum fine. From 100 to 1,500, 6 months, 500, or 1 year for a second or subsequent offense.
This bill at all.
And then
That makes more sense if we just tie it to the existing law.
well, one of the issues I've talked to the department about this is that, first of all, this you can't always get somebody for theft. So, if they're attempting to break in and get this copper wire, but they don't get there, but this new bill will catch them as opposed to somebody who actually gets in and takes it and then is subject to theft.
Not attempted theft? There's no such thing as attempted theft?
But the penalty is higher than for actual theft. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Well, as you get higher, the theft penalties get very high. And another issue here is that as you they sell this copper at way below value. So say you steal $10,000 worth of stuff and sell it for 500, then you're in a lower theft category than the value of what you actually took.
Well,
To
that's
the state, at least.
you steal. If you steal somebody's jewelry out of their bedroom and you sell it to a fence, they're not going to get top dollar for it.
And SHA's here, probably go into more detail.
Yeah, hi, good afternoon. This is Mitch Baldwin from SHA. So I guess I'll add on to a couple things that Patrick was saying. As far as the bill and the verbiage in the bill, it basically would allow if the police rolled up on somebody that was in the middle of stealing the copper wire on the side of the road. Basically, there's a box, an electrical box in the bottom of the light poles. So if someone were to be tampering with or trying to cut the wire off of that, they wouldn't be able to be charged with theft. Whereas like this bill would allow the police to charge them with this instead of just general theft. So that's one of the points. The other one is just, so if say the person tries to steal like 500 feet of wire and say it weighs like 200 pounds. So the value of that at the scrap yard or what the person's going to get for it is probably around $2 a pound with the scrap market the way it is now. So they steal that from us, and we have to get a whole new contract, and it potentially could cost us, $10,000, just say that to keep it easy, but they're going to go to the scrap yard and sell it for, $500, and then they're going to be charged with, $500 worth of theft if they are caught. So that's kind of the 2 points that I would want to make, and I'm happy to answer any follow-up questions if needed. And originally we had made the bill, and it also included a provision for the scrap dealers to actually have to hold the metal. But we did take some take some feedback from the scrap metal industry, and they basically just were very concerned with the holding period because, like, logistically they can't store that much metal themselves, and just basically put the burden on them. So we're going to try and work with them offline and out of session to try and basically figure out a way between us and the state police and the scrap dealers to come up with a way that we can, better track this stuff, because it has been a really bad issue on our system.
Any feedback, questions? Sorry, Delegate Jacobs, I see you.
All right, thank you. So a couple questions here. Patrick, one for you. It's got in the maximum penalty side, it's got about 5 years in prison. It's got all this imprisonment. We're not infringing on the judge's ability with that language, are we? Because typically we don't interfere with imprisonment. We let the judges set that. So I'm just trying to get some clarification on that.
Well, we set maximums, and that's what this bill does.
Okay.
But obviously the judge does not have to give prison time, or can give a lower prison time than the maximum.
Right.
With the fines.
That's what I'm saying. We're not trying to prescribe the prison time. I want to just make sure that. And secondly, I saw somewhere in the fiscal note where it said a violator is required to restore the owner's property or pay the owner the value of the property or services subject to the penalties. So I guess that means that whoever is caught stealing this stuff's got to replace it at the value it costs to replace it, according to that, correct?
If it's charged with theft.
Yeah. So it's not that he sells it for $500 and it was worth $5,000. He's still got to, I guess, pay the $5,000 it costs to replace it.
I'd have to check the wording on the theft statute.
Okay. Well, it's in the fiscal note. That's why I was asking that. Okay. That's all.
Okay, any
I have another
other, sorry, Ann, go ahead.
Yeah, I have
Delegate
just another
Healy?
question. I'm sorry, that's okay. Thank you. I just wanted to ask about, this is a problem for a lot of people. I mean, theft of copper, cars get broken into, catalytic converters get stolen out of the metro parking lots all the time. Abandoned houses have their pipes and wiring stolen as well. So why is this different from that kind of thing?
I mean, from our perspective, I think that the big issue here is safety, right? So if we have unlit interstates, that creates a safety issue. If somebody breaks down on the side of the interstate in the more like urbanized areas, it creates issues for bicyclists and pedestrians, and also too, maintaining the infrastructure or rebuilding the infrastructure once the wire is stolen. That in itself is a safety issue, because then we have to have another contractor out on the road, repairing it. So it's putting MDOT personnel and our contracting community at risk as well.
Okay, that's a good answer. Thank you.
Any other questions? Do folks want to move this? Do we want more information? I mean, we will be meeting, if not tomorrow, on Thursday too. So we will, this is not final say. But do folks feel like they want to move forward on this, or do we want to ask more questions between now and when we're on it? Okay.
We can move, I'll move favorable.
Okay.
I'll second it.
All those in favor of the favorable motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Carries. Great. And then we have SB 184 as well, which is Senator McCrae's bill on the opioid treatment program. I'd like to hold this bill, but I think it's, open for discussion right now if folks want to discuss it. If not, we will get ready for full committee. But any
Did we already hold this bill?
We did.
Yes, Delegate Fraser Hidalgo, since I'm not him, and I wasn't sure all of the conversations that had happened about it. I just wasn't sure if it was ready to go yet or not.
Delegate Learman.
Yes.
I spoke to Senator McCrae, and I also spoke to the chair and spoke of my uncomfortability about moving such a bill because I understand its intent. And I also understand that the program is not necessarily implemented just yet. But the point is that we do want to catch bad actors, but this puts a penalty and a consequence on the recipient of the program and not necessarily the providers of the program. I don't think we should be hurting those who are suffering from substance abuse disorder. And so I had told the sponsor that I know what he's trying to do. I love what he's trying to do, and I would love to work with him and others who I know are interested. I know Delegate Harrison mentioned some interest, as well as you, Delegate Learman, about how we hold these facilities accountable when we talk about the quality of care and how we can hold them to a higher standard, since this is, an epidemic across the state, but the people we shouldn't be hurting the people who are already hurting, I guess is what I'm saying. Even though, again, the program hasn't been implemented, that would be the consequence, is that it affects the individuals in the program. So I leave it at that.
Yeah,
and I had some real problems.
Sorry, go ahead. No, go ahead, Delegate Harrison.
Yeah, I had some real problems with the bill for that reason. But one of the, and I don't have it in front of me, but it indicated that a program that it had its license revoked or suspended within the last 10 years would, the penalty would come to such a program. And I just think that that's wrong, just period. I mean, 10 years is a very long time.
Yeah.
And in speaking with individuals who work in the field or have worked in the field, that suspension or revocation could have been any number of things, something as, I'll say minor in quotation marks, with, an individual, one of the patients doing some violations, and maybe the patient had violated whatever it was multiple times, or it could have been anything from, I don't know, serving food. It could have been any number of things that would have caused a suspension or a revocation. And 10 years is a very long time. And I don't think that, and if the program is operating, then obviously they've gotten past whatever that issue was. So I have real problems with it, and I would not want to support it.
Okay. I mean, I think we talked last time about, was there a way, was there anything we could do to amend it? Because 10 years did seem like an incredibly long amount of time, but also frustrations with the facility in question. which I know Senator McCray has many of. Barbara, there isn't a question right now, so I'm not going to call on you, but thank you for being here. Unless somebody has a question for her. But okay, so I guess I'll leave it up to folks. Do we want to move this or hold it?
Why do we hold it?
Okay.
Why do we hold it? Because I think we're, people understand the motivation that it's trying to get us something good, but I agree with Delegate Boyce that
Yeah.
That's tough,
Yeah.
So if we can find an alternative that has to do with their licensing or has some, but then it wouldn't be in our committee. This is a transportation issue.
Right.
So
Well, we have plenty of time, so there's no
that's
reason.
why I said hold it.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, we'll hold it, and I think that is our agenda for the day then. Thank you, everybody, for joining. I appreciate it. Sorry, I'm no Delegate Fraser Hidalgo. Hopefully he will be back next time.